Welcome, voyagers, to another nightly journey in sleepy voyages, where we aim to not only induce a restful sleep, but also inspire self-improvement as our enchanting music wraps around you. Close your eyes. Your day of activity and stress falls away, replaced by an ocean of serenity. Tonight, in our calming voyage, we will unravel the fabled story of the Pied Piper of Hamelin. I invite you to float along the tranquil river of imagination as the mystical sounds of the flute weave the tale of an enchanting stranger, a charming city entwined in a pact, and the grave consequences of breach. Here, in our sleep-inducing journeys, we don't just narrate stories, we glean wisdom from under their surface. Before we tuck you in tonight, voyagers of the night sky, we have a small but crucial request. As your eyelids grow heavy and the soothing tones of sleepy voyagers guide you to the realm of dreams, remember the peace, serenity, and comfort that we bring to you every night, just as a lighthouse guides lost ships in the darkness. Your reviews help other restless dreamers find their way to us by leaving a review and sharing your thoughts on your experience. You are reaching out to other insomniacs lost in the night, guiding them towards restful sleep. Take a moment before you drift away to click on the Leave a Review button on your podcast app. Help us extend our galaxy of tranquility to all those who seek the solace of sound sleep. And once you've done that, feel free to slip back under the covers of our sleep stories, ready to be whisked away on another sleepy voyage. Remember, your stars light the way for others. Every review, every rating helps us create a bigger, more beautiful universe of peace and rest. As you drift closer towards the land of dreams with our tale tonight, ponder on our underlying theme, the consequences of dishonesty. Bear this in mind, my dear voyager. A transaction, a relationship, or even a promise built on deception will eventually falter. But remember, it's never too late for honesty. Yet, before we delve into this fascinating tale and its implications, let us take another moment to listen to the soft music washing over you, washing away your worries. Let's descend deeper into tranquility. Breathe in. Breathe out. For those unfamiliar with the enchanting story, it broaches upon the life of a quaint medieval town invaded by an unwanted rodent menace. Our story tonight also embodies a powerful message underneath its descriptive folds, it compels us to revisit how truthfulness stands as a cornerstone for our trust and relationships, and the repercussions that breach of this trust can bring about. We've all crossed paths with dishonesty, whether it was a small white lie we told, or a promised commitment circumvented, and we have faced what follows, some consequences more extensive than the others. The adventure we are embarking upon tonight, although unfolding in a realm far, far away, touches on this universal principle of truthfulness. By the end of our voyage, I'm hoping each of us could wind down, not just feeling relaxed, but also a little wiser. Breathe in, dear dreamers, as we set foot on a captivating journey through the cobbled streets of medieval Hamelin, as the sweet resonance of our tale begins to swirl around your thoughts. Let the underlying message of honesty and integrity percolate through, for in this sleepy voyage across starry skies and soft-spun dreams, we're here to sleep, dream, and most importantly, to grow. As we journey into our story, I want you, dear listener, to find a place of comfort, a place where your thoughts can dance freely, just like the piper's tune, be it your couch, your favorite armchair, or as you snuggle down into the depths of your bed. Just find a place where you can feel entirely at ease. Begin by sinking deeper into your comfortable space. Notice the points of contact between you, the curve of your back against the chair, or the softness of your pillow cradling your head. Allow these points of contact to anchor you in this present moment. Now, I'd like you to close your eyes gently. Notice the veil of darkness that cloaks your vision. A canvas where our story will paint itself. But let's not rush into the tale. Instead, let us focus on the rhythm of our breath. Take a deep, slow breath in. Feel the air flowing through your nose, filling up your lungs, infusing your body with calmness, and then, ever so gently, exhale. As you breathe out, imagine your worries, your distractions, your fears disappearing with the wisp of your breath. Do this a few more times. Breathe in tranquility. With every breath, you're creating an atmosphere of peace and relaxation, a safe haven where you are open to the lessons of our story, where the Pied Piper's music doesn't just enchant, it enlightens. You're doing wonderfully, my friend. Let's now move to a brief body scan, awakening an awareness of how every part of you is an integral part of this journey into self-improvement. But for now, just keep breathing in and out, in rhythm with the world around you, in this quiet cocoon of calm and consciousness. Stay right here, my friend. The voyage is only beginning. Now, as your body settles, let's take a moment to connect with our breath. Our breath is a fascinating companion that is always with us, but often goes unnoticed. In the fairy tale, just around the corner, the piper's mystical pipe, music guided the town of Hamelin. Our breath, if we tune in, can guide us into a peaceful sleep. Close your eyes if you haven't done so already, and let your awareness sink into your being. Picture yourself in a serene meadow. A soft, warm breeze gently brushing against your skin. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it for a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Now exhale slowly through your mouth, pushing all the tension out of your body. Repeat this on your own rhythm. This is your journey to tranquility. No two quests are the same. Each breath in, visualize peace, calmness, and positivity filling your body. With every breath out, imagine stress, anxiety, and negativity leaving your being. In, peace enters. Out, stress departs. Let this rhythm own your body gently. With every exhale, let any tension in your body melt away. Drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw. Let your brow be smooth. There is no need to hold on to any stress or pain. In and out. Just like the piper's enchanting tune filling the town, let your breath fill your being with calmness and tranquility. The beauty of this simple exercise is that it allows us to be entirely in the moment, lost in the fields of tranquility. The past has no hold on us here, and the future waits patiently. All that matters is the sound of the peaceful breeze dancing in the meadow and your journey towards relaxation. Breathing has a rhythm, much like a song or a never-ending story. As the tale of the Pied Piper takes rhythmic turns, remember to stay in sync with your breath, taking that peace and tranquility along as we dive into our narrative journey. In just another moment, we will find ourselves transported to the cobbled streets of Hamelin. A story awaits, illuminated by the last rays of a setting sun. But for now, continue to breathe, relax, and let peace wash over you, just like Hamelin will soon learn. Honesty is key, and being honest with yourself about the need for this peace, and calm is the first step on our restful journey. As you lie there, preparing for this peaceful voyage, remember to breathe in and out. May your dreams lead us to Hamelin together. Now, dear listener, I want you to let your mind transport you back to the heart of the Middle Ages, to the year 1284. Picture a quaint, bustling town tucked away in the magnificent landscape of Lower Saxony in what is now modern-day Germany. This town is Hamelin. The air is filled with the pungent aroma of burning wood from the hearths and the simple, fragrant scent of freshly baked bread wafting through the narrow cobblestone streets. There's a comforting hum that drifts on the air across the town, the tinkle of the blacksmith's hammer, the rhythmic shuffling of farmers and traders going about their day. It feels ordinary, doesn't it? Idyllic and tranquil. But, as we've learned from countless tales and life lessons, things aren't always as they seem, especially in these distant medieval towns. Despite its lively appearance, this particular town is stricken by a frustrating and potentially disastrous problem. For some reason, the good people of Hamelin have found themselves drowning in a sea, an absolute deluge of rats. They creep out of every nook and corner, spoil every bit of food, and nibble on everything their tiny, sharp teeth can reach. Hamelin, once a bustling town of joy and prosperity, is slowly succumbing to a tide of vermin. It sends a shiver down your spine, doesn't it? Yet, don't let it unsettle you, for in this very town, under the troubled evening sky, enters a peculiar character whose role will soon cast a much changed light on this unfortunate situation. I imagine him now, walking down the winding road that leads into Hamelin, a thin silhouette backlit by the setting sun, pulling our story into motion. This, dear listener, is our Pied Piper, a man whose talents are woven deep into the fabric of this tale, and who, from this moment, would forever become part of Hamelin's history. Here we enter into the heart of our tale. It was the year of 1284, and the once serene settlements found themselves in the grip of an unexpected, unsettling occurrence. Let's imagine. Picture a picturesque little town amidst the lush German countryside, nestled by the Weser River, a place where joy used to abound. The echoes of children's laughter once reverberated through cobblestone roads and rustic quarters alike, now replaced with hushed murmurs and stifled worries. Hamelin had fallen prey to an infestation, a rampant proliferation of rats. Rats, those dastardly critters had invaded the idyllic town, skittering through the kitchens, scurrying within the attics. They nibbled at food, gnawed the woodworks, and transformed Hamelin into their dreadful kingdom of chaos. The streets that were once brimming with joyous hustle and bustle bore a silent witness to the scurrying parade and the good townsfolk. They were at their wits' end. Days turned into nights, and the ungrateful echo of scratching and squeaking would haunt their dreams. Their pleas for peace fell unheard, and despair started dipping their spirits. Who would come to their rescue? Who would free Hamelin from this dreadful, gnawing torment? In the gloomy twilight, they yearned for a saviour. And little did they know, their miracle was just around the corner. Consider the rat infestation as an interruption of the natural balance, a symbol, if you will, of an abnormality in the town's harmony, and, like any unwanted interruption in our lives, this too called for an honest, balanced solution. But the course of our story, my dear listeners, is anything but serene, illustrating in its progression the bitter consequences of dishonesty. Out of the whispers of the swaying wheat fields and the playful dances of the summer wind, there entered a man into this turmoil-stricken town of Hamelin. He was unusually tall, with an air of mystery about him. An iridescent cloak hung from his shoulders, shimmering different colours as the sunlight caught its fabric. His bright eyes held depth that seemed to tell 1,000 tales. Our man in question wasn't a knight cloaked in shining armour with a brilliant sword by his side, nor a prince riding in on his noble steed. No, dear listeners, he was a piper. A piper with a simple yet captivating instrument, a beautifully crafted pipe through which he spun melodies, enchanting and irresistible not only to human ears but to certain furry creatures as well. But his wasn't simply a talent, it was a gift. With his melodies, woven intricately like magical spells, he could make creatures follow him. He proclaimed that with his gifted fingers over his pipe, he could render the town of Hamelin free of the rat plague. A stranger he might have been, but it was a stranger who bore in his hands a magical solution. The townsfolk, desperate and in dire straits, didn't fail to notice his confidence and his promise of a rat-free Hamelin. Could this man, with his splendid pipe, accomplish what exterminators and traps could not in the midst of their desperation? Surely some had their doubts, their mistrust, but the lure of a normal, rat-free life in Hamelin was too tantalizing to ignore. A ray of hope perforated the heavy clouds of despair that had hung over the town for far too long. Let's take a moment to observe your present state, focusing on your breathing in and out. Allow this story to unfold, weaving a path towards tranquility. And when you are ready, we can delve deeper into this magical yet thought-provoking journey. Who is this Pied Piper truly? And more importantly, what is the price Hamelin will pay for their salvation? Allow your mind to drift now as we wander into our sleepy voyage of tonight. As the mist of time thins, a vibrant figure appears in the dusty, wrought streets of Hamelin. This individual, my dear listeners, is unlike any other in the township, enveloped in a coat of many colors that seem to dance in the sunlight. He walks with a mysterious allure, his boot worn from numerous journeys, and eyes glittering with unspoken tales, echo with stories of places far and unknown. The figure introduces himself as the Pied Piper. His voice, though melodious as a lullaby, carries an unsaid authority that stirs the townsfolk like a plume of aromatic herbs. His presence spreads throughout the town, drawing the attention and curiosity of the citizens, young and old. Even more fantastical than his appearance is his unique ability. Carrying a flute, the piper possesses an uncanny talent, an almost surreal ability to charm all creatures through his mesmerizing melodies. The piper's arrival seems timely for the desperate town of Hamelin, plagued by an endless tide of pesky rats. The desperate townsfolk can't help but wonder if this eccentric stranger is the answer to their prayers. They are drawn towards his quirky charm and the promise of salvation that it brings. Allow yourself to sink deeper into your cozy cushions, dear listeners, as the townsfolk of Hamelin meet this Pied Piper for the first time. Feel the excitement, the sharp tinge of hope, for as our story unfolds, remember the whispered warning carried by the piper's melody, serving as a constant reminder of our voyage's theme tonight, the consequences of dishonesty. But the story is still young, and much like the piper's tune, its mysteries have only begun to play. Let your eyelids grow heavier as we prepare to follow the dance of the Pied Piper of Hamelin. Recall now the piper, an eccentric figure in his rainbow. His aura was bewitching, almost mirroring the mystique his music held. The bewilderment in the mayor's eyes was palpable as the Pied Piper confidently made his proposition. With an air of certainty, the piper declared to the mayor of Hamelin, "For a fee of 1,000 gold coins, I can rid your town of the plague that the rats have brought." His promise hung in the air inside the mayor's grandeur-filled atmospheric room. There was a pause, the kind that follows a breath held too long. It was then broken by the mayor's doubtful laughter. He was skeptical, yes, but beneath it you could tell there was desperation, a desperation brought forth by the threat these rats posed to their peaceful town. With a hopeful sigh, the mayor complied to the piper's terms. His eyes were filled with an uncertain gleam as he said, "If you can rid us of these pestilent creatures, then 1,000 gold coins you shall have." The mayor's promise was made on behalf of the entire town. Now, dear listeners, picture in your mind's eye our mysterious piper as he raises his pipe to his lips. He begins to play a mesmerizing tune, so enchanting, so irresistible. Let your senses drift in the magic of this melodious lullaby, a luring symphony that guided the creatures of the night as if under some spellbinding enchantment. The black sea of rats in Hamelin began to stir, their tiny, glittering eyes fixated and entranced by the haunting melody cascading from the piper's instrument. They moved as one. Out they came from every house and street corner, drawn by the piper's song, as one might be drawn to the warmth of a comforting dream. Listen now, if you will, to the light patter of tiny feet, to the rustling tide of whiskers and tails, to the crescendo of 1,000 tiny heartbeats. They flowed as a river behind the Pied Piper, their little bodies surrendering to his call. The piper then led this grand procession out of the town of Hamelin, his every footstep punctuated with the untold relief of the townsfolk. Every pair of eyes followed this spectacle. The sea of black was drained from the town, and now, dear listeners, the relieved town of Hamelin drifts into a peaceful slumber, the night once again reclaimed by the silence, tainted only by faint echoes of the piper's harmonious song. As you too drift on the edges of sleep, let's continue our voyage to learn of the fate that befalls those who do not value their word. Now, my dear listeners, we take a pivotal turn in our tale, under the shadow of a decision that marked Hamelin forever. Following the miraculous spectacle of the Pied Piper and the enchanting melody of his flute, the town had been expunged of the nagging nuance that the ceaseless plague of rats had brought about. As the last rat was led into the river, the piper, in his vibrantly flamboyant clothing, strode back into town to claim his well-deserved reward. Yet the leering mayor, unthankful and devious, broke his promise. The gleam in his eyes wasn't of gratitude, but of sly dishonesty. He refused to pay the piper the promised 1,000 guilders. Instead, he smirked and mocked the piper, offering a measly 50, a bait and switch as old as commerce itself. A dreadful betrayal that hung heavy in the air. It seemed as though the plague of rats had been supplanted by yet another vermin. In his deceit, the mayor conveniently overlooked the fundamental maxim that all actions carry consequences, and so he let slip the cords of trust and honor, unknowingly inviting a storm of repercussion. Who was once a savior, resented, left short, changed and slighted. The fickle nature of deceit had tainted the jubilation of freedom the townspeople had started to enjoy, darkening the mood as the piper stood shocked, his countenance a mask of consternation. The sweet melodies that once saved Hamelin had been replaced with bitter silence, the air rife with the harsh lesson of the lasting effects of human dishonesty. Deception, dear friends, is like pouring ink into a glass of water. It spreads quickly, tainting everything it touches. Join me soon as we navigate deeper into Hamelin's dark turn, an eerie silence that unfurls like fog under the piper's revenge. But for now, let the tale marinate, its wisdom whispering through the cool winds of the night. Close your eyes, breathe deep. As together we soak in the dusky hours before morning, picture the quiet morning streets of Hamelin, now ominously silent. The sun's rays mend the damage done by the night. Everything seems peaceful, but the irony isn't lost, for the peace was hollow. The piper, betrayed yet resilient, picks up his enchanting pipe once again. His heart feels heavy, and his eyes, well, they narrate an unsung lullaby of vengeance. Hamelin, unaware of the imminent loss, lays in sleep. The piper stands at the edge of the town, tall and resolute. He lifts his pipe to his lips, and a new song fills the air. This time, the melodious notes are meant not for the rats, but for a much more precious audience. Picture now, as the first strains of music float across the slumbering town, the enchanting notes seep into the quiet homes and into the dreams of the children. They rise entranced, their eyes glazed and distant. Little feet move towards the source of the melody, just as the rats had done before. Parents slumber on, oblivious to the developing predicament. From every corner of the town, the children follow the Pied Piper, drawn by his haunting tune. Together they march towards the mountains, leaving behind a trail of crushed spring blooms and the faint echo of laughter. As the sun reaches its peak, the town stands devoid of its youth, its future, its hope. Remember how I mentioned consequences before, dear listeners? Well, this was the consequence of Hamelin's mayor, of his deceit and dishonesty. He broke a promise, only to find that, in doing so, as the piper faded into the mountains, with Hamelin's children following him, the echo of a dealt blow hung in the silent air. Let's take a quiet moment now, dear listeners, to really absorb the magnitude of what has just transpired in our tale. The echoes of the piper's haunting melody still seem to linger in the air, resonating with the heavy price of dishonesty. The mayor of Hamelin, blinded by greed and disregard, broke his promise to the Pied Piper. The consequence of his deceit was a loss so profound, so overwhelming, that it stripped the town of its future, its children. The vibrant streets of Hamelin that were once filled with the merry laughter of its young lay desolate and silent. The consequences were not immediate, but when they came, let's pause for a moment to ponder on this. They bind us, guide us, but more than that, they reflect our integrity. The breaking of a promise, just like the mayor's, can lead to devastating consequences. Underneath the surface of this age-old lies a poignant lesson in honesty and trust. Dishonesty, as demonstrated by the mayor, leads to a cycle of broken trust and repercussions that affect not just the dishonest individual, but those around them. Hamelin's deserted streets, the hollow echo of children's laughter that were once heard, all serve as a haunting reminder of the disastrous consequences brought about by deceit. Now, let's imagine if the mayor of Hamelin had been honest, had kept his promise to the Pied Piper. The tune that those children heard that fateful morning could have been a song of celebration, not a call away from their homes. The town would still bask in the cheerful banter of youth, its future secure. These are the consequences we're meant to contemplate, dear listeners, the after effects of dishonesty that ripple further and deeper than we initially perceive. So, when we make a promise, it's important to consider not just the immediate benefits or drawbacks, but the potential long-term consequences. Reflect now on your own life. Have there been moments where being dishonest seemed the easier choice? Have those choices led to unexpected consequences further down the line? Each action, each decision we make leaves an imprint, and as the story of the Pied Piper serves to remind us, some consequences can be far-reaching and irreversible. Take a few moments to ponder on this before we delve deeper into its meaning and how we can apply this lesson in our lives. Imagine, if you will, the medieval town of Hamelin, a bustling marketplace. The cobblestone streets, under the warm glow of the setting sun. Now, replace that image with the solitude of your mind, a place of inward retreat, of self-reflection and introspection. It is here where the lessons truly flourish. Take a moment to savor this serenity. It is tranquility, not unlike the sweet silence that hung over Hamelin when the Pied Piper had led the horde of rats away. Yet, this tranquility was marred by an act of dishonesty. Now, let's draw a breath in through the nose, then let it go out through the mouth. Feel your body relax, each a reminder of the gentle waves lapping at the shore. As you lie there, enveloped by the welcoming embrace of serenity, reflect on the tale of the Pied Piper. The mayor's dishonesty led to a misfortune far greater than a rat infestation. It cost him the joy and laughter of the children of Hamelin. Remember, every decision, every action ripples across the vast expanse of our lives. Let's reflect, voyagers. Inhale. Hold. And exhale. Allow any instances of dishonesty in your lives to be caught in this breath, trapped in these exhalations, and let them drift away, just like the Pied Piper leading a swarm of rats away. Let each breath guide away your mistakes, your regrets. Let them float away, leaving nothing but the lessons they held and the resolution to act with honesty at heart. With every inhale, imagine drawing in a vivid golden glow. Let it seep into your mind, into your soul. With every exhale, rid yourself of the greys of dishonesty. Let's embrace the tranquility of honesty and let it guide us in the darkness, just like the haunting melody of the Pied Piper. Relax, reflect, release. One final deep breathe in. Let's carry this virtue with us, even as we travel from Hamelin, as we voyage through the sea of dreams, as we journey into the world of slumber. Now, let's move into a deep breathing exercise that will not only help you to relax, but also inspire reflections on our riveting story. Let's use this opportunity to journey within as a soft, serene melody hums quietly in the background. Now breathe in slowly and deeply. Imagine this air as a representation of truth and trust, filling you, spreading throughout your body. And as you seek to honor these values by being honest and trustworthy, you become your own Pied Piper, leading your actions and decisions towards positive outcomes. Exhale now, let it out. And as you do, picture releasing any dishonesty within the air. You breathe out. See this as a commitment to remain true, not just to others, but to yourself. You are releasing deceptive behaviors or thoughts that could lead you down the wrong path, similar to the consequences the mayor of Hamelin faced. Very good. Let's repeat this cycle a few more times. Inhale honesty, trust, truth. Exhale dishonesty, deceit, mistrust. Exhale the confusion that betrayal would bring. Remember, every breath you take is a chance to choose integrity. This reflection should remind you to keep promises you make to others and yourself. Hopefully, our journey through the tale of the Pied Piper of Hamelin has enabled you to understand that dishonest behavior can have serious consequences, just as the piper's tune led away the things most precious to the townsfolk. So keep breathing deeply. Let the calmness wash over you and hold onto these valuable lessons as you drift towards sleep. In your dreams tonight, try walking the path of honesty. I'm confident you'll find it peaceful, fulfilling, and infinitely rewarding. Until our next sleepy voyage, this has been your host, Arthur. May your dreams weave beautiful tales of timeless wisdom